These come
We are
in.
live. So we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our discussion today. We're going to talk about UA trends. And our topic today from creative conversion, mobile user acquisition tactics that actually drive growth. And I think it's a very hot topic. So, I mean, the trend in marketing is changing so fast. The things in the industry, everything is changing so fast. New platforms, new regulation, new tech, and so you got to stay sharp, and that's why we are here. And I hope the session is gonna packed with insights, some case studies, and some practical tips. But let's start with a quick introduction. So I'm Anna Pithova. I'm a business development manager in Ads and More. We are a performance marketing agency. So what we are doing here, we are promoting mobile applications, help them to grow the user base with a strong focus on post-install performance. And we do it through in-app, CTV, Reddit, Twitch, and so on. So we are constantly looking for new inventory and new traffic. That's why I'm really intrigued to be here and talk with other professionals from the industry and maybe learn some insight from myself at the same time. So let's introduce our speakers. Chagatai, can you please share a few things about yourself and about our host, SocialPeta?
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for a kind introduction. My name is Chagatai. I'm the key account manager of SocialPeta in the MENA region. And SocialPeta is an ad intelligence platform with the world's largest creative pool and network diversity that can help you to instantly track your competitors' marketing strategies and gain insights about the creatives or the marketing campaigns, what is trending at the market, etc. So I will share some insights from the market throughout this panel. And thank you.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, anyway, thank you for SocialPeta for hosting and for gathering us all together today. Jason, can you introduce yourself and maybe share some insights about PropellerAds?
Yeah, sure. So happy to be here. My name is Jason. I'm a business development manager at PropellerAds. I'm mostly involved in helping new advertisers getting familiar with our platform, creating a strategy, and trying to scale also with helping creatives, targeting everything, to help the advertiser from 0 to, let's say, 100%. Besides that, yeah, PropellerAds, of course, is a very well-known company in the industry. We've been already working for 14 years. We work and we do already like 3 billion plus impressions on a daily basis. So we have a large, network of publisher partners. So yeah, that's a bit about me and PropellerAds.
Thank you. Thank you for introduction. Now, Katie, can you please introduce yourself, share us a bit about Mobupps? I thought most of us already heard about the company, but still.
Sure. Thank you, Anna. And hi, everyone. Nice to meet you all. I'm Kathy, VP of Mobupps. I'm taking care of the growth of global market. And short sentence about Mobupps. We are a globalized solution provider for mainly user acquisition and monetization. I've been working in Mobupps for 9 years and also stayed in this industry for, I don't know, more than a decade. But my best thing about the industry is like there's always something new. There's always some innovation. So today I'm really happy, honored to be here, and let's discuss some of our ideas about the power of creatives. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I like this vibe. Very insightful. So Milan, can you introduce yourself and your company?
Yeah, of course. So hi, everybody. My name is Milan. I'm CEO and founder of AdSpawn, and we made the platform with the friends to produce ads specifically for mobile games with the help of the AI. So what we try to do, long story short, is making sure that no game fails because of a bad marketing. We have been in the industry for 7-8 years as a marketing consultant. And we channel all this knowledge now to the AI tools, and we're producing and testing ads for mobile games. That's what we do.
Sounds cool. So looks like we have a very interesting speakers company today. And here, let's directly start with the main question, I think that related to our topic. So guys, please share one of the recent trends or shift in mobile user acquisition that you found the most interesting, and also kind of explain why do you think today's marketers should to pay attention on it. Maybe Chata, you can start with this.
Of course. So that's a great question to start, I think. One of the recent trends we have observed at SocialPeta is growing importance of the creative agility combined with data-driven optimization in mobile user acquisition. So in today's competitive landscape, it's not enough to launch few ads and wait for results. So top advertisers are continuously testing thousands of creatives variations weekly and analyzing performance metrics in real time. And they are refreshing creatives every 7 to 10 days to combat ad fatigue. This trend is important because the user attention spans are shorter than ever, and platforms constantly evolve their algorithms. So marketers who embrace rapid creative iteration backed by robust data insights are able to maintain high engagement rates and efficient to CPI metrics. So for today marketers, this means investing in tools and processes that enable fast testing, learning, and scaling of creative assets. Without this focus, campaigns risk becoming stale and inefficient. So losing both reach and ROI. So it's important to have this data-driven optimization lately. And we have observed this creative tests lately that created with these insights. So yeah, that's all
Okay.
from my side for this question. But if you have any other questions, and I can answer after all this process.
Yeah, definitely. I think we have a time for you to deep dive more with some and maybe
Yeah.
show some insights from the SocialPeta about it. So Jason, do you have something to add here? I'm sure do you have some ideas about what do you feel is the hottest trends from marketing right now?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, well, I'm going quite often. I'm at conferences to represent PropellerAds, and what I'm hearing also in the industry, many direct advertisers, media buyers, but also affiliates, they're always looking for new sources, especially like the main sources that they're already working with, like Meta or Google or even native big sources. What I'm hearing is that it's getting more expensive, so they're always looking at more cheaper sources to get, their offers with a better price. And what they mention as well is that they work with the creators of Facebook, for example, and then they try new sources, but they're not sure how these creators can also work on a new source. So that's
Yeah,
something I
definitely.
noticed, and what I also think what they should pay attention to is when you start with a new source, it's very important to have proper tracking in place to first of all understand the performance of the source, make sure you understand the formats of the source that you're working with, also get like the feedback from the AM or the business developer in this case on what works well with these formats, what flow, what creatives. And based on that information, with the proper tracking, of course, make your strategy and move forward, test the new sources, as it will also help you diversify the risk. If one of your big sources is not giving the performance you want anymore, it's important to have like another source at hand that can cover for that performance drop there. So that's why it's important to have new sources, but make sure that when you test the new sources, that you also have the proper tools to do so.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good point. I also agree with this, that sometimes there's an issue with that there are two different sources, but marketers keep track them, or the app owners, they keep track them in the same way, which is not, there is no way to optimize it properly if you track it in the same way.
Exactly.
So it should be a separate strategy. Yeah, it's a good one.
Correct.
Cassie, can you please share your insights about this? What do you see in Mobupps about it?
Yeah, sure. So, from what we saw, I mainly wanted to highlight like 3 points from those three aspects. First of all, uh, recent years, the evolving privacy regulations and the shifts in platform policies, and also there's emergence of new ecosystems like just Jason mentioned. Probably will mention later about the Telegram apps and the OEM stores. I will explain more why we feel more from these three aspects. First of all, from privacy regulations, the deprecation of like device level identifiers like iOS IDFA or Google's GAID. These are the ones somehow have pushed the marketers away from those hyper targeting strategy. And what we see is like more and more marketers start to believe or change to contextual advertising or creative link performance, and also have strong belief in first-party data strategy. And as for the shifts we saw in the platform policies, so the shift has made the creative quality actually one of the most powerful engine in a campaign success. And we always say like in Mobupps, we believe the creatives actually take 70% of a campaign success. And we also believe that making the right advertising, including testing in real time. Also, you need to understanding how and what to attract users' attention, and also to irritating or refining your advertising based on the engagement metrics. Also about the new ecosystems, we keep feeling like I just mentioned about TMAs or OEM stores, and they are also influencer channels. So there are so many alternative UA ways to reach to the new users, and these are the ways actually have the lower competition and the lower privacy constraints. So these are the trends that we feel, and we feel like this is very important for all the marketers to pay attention to. And I mean, why this is potential? Because if you only exist on the old playbook, simply it just doesn't work anymore, because you will see your CPI is growing, your retention rate is dropping, and the LTV is looking bad. So definitely, we feel like the new UA leaders in this industry are the ones who embrace the creative intelligence. So yeah, this is what we see.
Yeah, it's a good one also, yes. Milan, probably you have something to add here, right? So when it comes to the
Yeah.
new technologies in the marketing.
I mean, I will follow up on something that has been already said here. It's basically the volume, and it's never been easier to make creatives, right? With the AI, with the latest tools, like people talk about in the industry of like, yeah, just focus on the volume and do that. Like, yes, of course. Like I still believe that's valid, but what I'm hearing lately is that marketers want to increase the success rate of these creatives tested. So, all right, it's like, let's not spray and pray, and because it is effective. You can make thousands of variants per month, but it takes a lot of not only resources regarding the time and producing, but it destroys the focus. You need to make new tools, learn how to use them, actually test them. That drains some budget as well. So there is this small shift towards like, all right, now I have thousands of ads, but none of them worked. Like I need to rethink this. Like I'm starting to hear this new trend, and I actually like it. It follows on what Katie said. That's creative is a king. I think we can agree on that. And now it's going to be more about exactly like what resonates with my primary target audience, secondary target audience, and now why this specific creative works and why it doesn't. And basically analyzing and optimizing creative production. So it's no longer just spray and pray. It's more about like smartly testing creatives, producing and testing them.
Yeah, and also definitely is about not only where but also in which platform you use ad creatives. You need to understand you cannot produce like a ton of ad creatives and push them everywhere in all of your channels and then analyze the data, then thinking, oh, this is not working, this channel is not working, maybe the ad creatives you're using is not working, right?
Yeah.
So, for example, because we are testing some currently in our company, we see a really good conversion coming from CTV and good interest from the marketers. And I see the reason is because actually it can be tracked similarly as normal in-app, right? So this is for marketers is not something that really need to learn more. So you can just try a new channel with almost the same tactics that you had before. And it's given option to reach the wide audience, but in more relaxed atmosphere when they lean down after the end of the working day watching the TV, right? When we talk about CTVs related to connected TV, and not when they're scrolling before they're waiting for the bus. So maybe it's like a good option, but you should understand in what content, in what the situation where the user gonna see the advertising. So you need to think about this, right? And so actually the next question I want to ask Jason is also related about this. So because you are using some different inventory, right? You're working with Telegram mini app traffic. So maybe you can share about like what ad creative formats, what trends working in Telegram ecosystem, and how can performance marketing take an advantage of this fresh inventory? So can you share us a bit more about this one?
Sure, happy to do so. I mean, Kathy already introduced it a bit, so thank you for that, Kathy. I mean, like as for PropellerAds as an ad network, we're most well known for push and pop traffic, and Telegram ads is a new format we recently introduced. So we see there's also a lot of interest on this format, so that's why I also explain a bit how this can be used for a mobile user acquisition. I'll share quickly a presentation. So there's also like an idea behind it, so you can see. So yeah, why Telegram? I mean, Telegram is it's a mobile app, first of all, and we see that there is a huge audience there. So there's over 1 billion people worldwide using Telegram at the moment. And what we're seeing is that the audience there is even growing. The users are growing. They're expected to grow to even 1.5 billion. And Telegram is has quite a big ecosystem. So there's many different things, mini apps, channels, group calls, one-on-one chats. You can even make a crypto wallet. Many different things that you can use on the Telegram side to actually like convert your users. So why is this a very interesting format? It's because currently it's low competition, something that Kathy also mentioned. Not many advertisers and media buyers are still like using the Telegram users to their own advantage. So it means that the traffic is still relatively cheap. It's easier to optimize the campaigns and get to profitability faster. It's easier to expand into different geos because in essence the user is still the same. So if you're targeting a user, let's say in one country, and you want to target or start targeting other countries that are perhaps Telegram heavy, but the user is still using the same mini app, it's still similar audience. So there's not a big shift needed, and it's easier to move into new geos as well. And like I also mentioned, with the group chats and channels, it's a great community building tool. So that makes it also easy to retarget. Of course, if you create a group chat or a channel, build trust, share some signals, for example, share some bonuses or maybe some other events. This could build trust with the user, which also helps with converting the user. And of course, also a very important aspect, lifetime value of the user. If trust is there, they're also more likely to spend more, of course. And it's a good fit for many different verticals in general. I highlighted gambling and finance, but you can use it for e-com, utilities, and many different other verticals as well. Cool. So yeah, about Telegram mini apps, how does it work? If you use Telegram, you will see that, for example, you have the app section, and there's different types of apps. If you will find one of our publisher apps, you will see that they will have like different types of formats inside. And the great thing about these format options, banner, interstitial, is that they are very similar to in-app. So if you've worked with in-app traffic before, then this is nothing new to you. It's quite easy to adapt and use a similar strategy for your Telegram campaigns. This is an example of how ads in Telegram mini app would look like. So for example, you go to this case, the mini app like Pirate, let's say, and they have a reward option or interstitial ad or a banner in the app that could just be there. User clicks on it, opens, they would see the ads, in this case, the banner ads with up to 50% off. they click open, and then they are redirected to the offer in this case, or it could be like a group chat or a channel where you'll be retargeting the user. So I will share in this case 2 studies. I will not go through the statistics much. If you have any question, that feel free to come to me after the presentation, and I'm happy to answer what type of results are achieved. So this is, for example, a casino that was starting in this region, specifically through Telegram. And what they did is essentially they had creatives related to casino feeling lucky, for example. So this is an AI generated creative. So like was already mentioned, it's not difficult to make creative nowadays, but of course it's important to understand which one performs well. Okay, they found a winner and they are capitalizing on that. So they flow as follows: they send it to the page, user gets added simultaneously in a channel or a group chat, and then also of course is redirected to the main page where they can start make a registration or deposit, while they can also retarget the user afterwards. Second case would be this case, for example, with finance, Forex, where the user was actually managing a signal group, and they were working with many different geos, but their top ones were Nigeria and Brazil because they're also quite heavy on Telegram. And they were funneling the users through the banners or interstitials in the mini apps to actually their own trading group, where they were providing signals, building trust, and eventually redirecting to the main offer, where they also mentioned to us that they were very happy with the retention of the clients due to the trust that was built there as well. So yeah, that's a bit about 2 different flows. I'm happy to explain more different examples, but that will be a bit in depth. I mean, feel free to reach out after so I can explain more. And for people that haven't tried our formats before, reach out because I can provide you with a bonus to test our traffic to get off to a good start.
Sounds like a good option, but I just wanted to ask about Telegram traffic. So you mentioned that it's like ad format is pretty much the same as the standard in-app, right? So, but did you notice that the audience on Telegram has some different maybe patterns, or it's pretty much same as when you go to a standard in-app promotion?
Well, what I would always recommend is ideally if you are targeting Telegram mini apps users to keep the flow initially in Telegram as well. If you funnel the users out of Telegram, it might be a bit confusing, so it's easier to retain them in a group, which is also interesting to retarget them later on. So that's always what I would recommend. In-app is perhaps a bit different, so it's easier to go from a let's say a random app to another step also on mobile phone, as users are used to it. And Telegram users, because it's quite new, are not really used to being funneled out of Telegram. So I would always recommend to keep the user comfortable, keep them in Telegram, and then move them along the funnel.
Okay, I see. Yeah, because why I mentioned, so for example, we are running Reddit apps, advertising on Reddit, and so we noticed like a lot of different patterns because the users on Reddit are quite specific, right? So like, for example, on the biggest advantage, so it's not a mass play, it's definitely a niche play, but if you catch the right niche, someone who's really passionate, you can make the best engagement here, because people came here to, for example, you mentioned trading application. So if you find the thread related to trading, right? You can catch the right users. But the problem, most of people try Reddit, and what I heard, the main problem is it didn't work because they used similar ad format and expected similar behavior from the user there. But on Reddit, people like to read. So focus on text. Don't write standard things. Write something interesting, meaningful. They don't need just advertising text here. And I also saw cool things related to meme and humor on Reddit. So if you catch this trend, if you understand your users and you can make jokes related to this, can be great. I'm not sure if AI can create this. I don't know how good is humor of AI right now. But
I mean, no, you're right. You're right. I mean, when you look at the Telegram ads and the push, there's a big difference. Although, like, for example, banner interstitial, it's quite similar. The Telegram users appreciate a different type of creative. They're often more crypto friendly. They want to play games, so make sure that your creative and strategy is also in line with that type of user. Don't use a different or a default sweepstake type of creative. It will not pull the user anymore. It used to be a thing many years ago, but yeah, you need to be definitely creative.
Yeah, definitely. And I think I'm not sure about you, but for me, Telegram is like I feel it's like a private space. It's more private. And I think that users
Exactly.
in Telegram, that's why they like Telegram. Telegram is private. So it's in my opinion, I'm not sure. I didn't run ads on Telegram, but I think it's need to keep it in mind that users here they expect to have to keep this privacy a bit, but at the same time they expect a lot of fraud from Telegram because there's a lot of fraud on Telegram. So you need to, keep the balance, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
with the ad
privacy is
creative.
there. Privacy is definitely there. I agree, but as soon as you build a trust with the user, they're also more likely, to convert and be more profitable in terms of lifetime. So
Mm,
that's something that we noted, and also the feedback that we get from clients, because we see like a huge surge in type of crypto products. Telegram is very ideal for that. As you targeting a user, it's maybe initially a bit tricky to get that user convinced, but as soon as you have them convinced, it's often what we also hear from the advertisers, a very good user for their app, brand, or whatever offer you're targeting.
So from which of what or verticals you mentioned crypto, right? Finance and
Yeah, crypto,
games, maybe?
finance, gambling, games exactly could work quite well. You need to think about the mini app and what type of mini apps there are. So I didn't share that here in the presentation, but there's, for example, Tapper mini apps. There is mining bots. There are just simple mini games. So it's users that are doing small actions in the app to maybe get like it could be a small reward in the app, or get coins, or maybe it's against friends. So you need to understand the user is there for joy. And like you mentioned, it's a private space. They feel safe on Telegram. They want to play the game. So you need to make sure that once you funnel them to your part of the offer, or maybe in Telegram itself, that you have something that suits their needs. So they're like, okay, this is interesting, let's stick here and let's see what's this about. And as soon as they trust it, they will also move along to play other games or
Yeah,
work with the
definitely.
segments or whatever.
Yeah, so we already mentioned it's important for ad creatives to understand the platform, but also you need to keep follow the trends, right? Every year is a new trend in ad creatives. It's coming from TikTok, social media, and everything. So I think, Chata, you are the person who can share some data and analytics from the platform that you have. So from SocialPeta's perspective, what key creative trends or maybe ad formats that stood out in recent months across some top performing mobile games and apps that you have?
Yeah, of course. Thank you very much for this question. And it was insightful to hear your discussion about the Telegram. I'd like to share some insights about this creative intelligence. At SocialPeta, we analyze millions of ad creatives daily across thousands of apps and games worldwide, and several key creative trends have emerged in recent months that reshaping how UA strategies are executed globally. First of all, is the dominance of short-form TikTok-style vertical videos continues to accelerate on the market. These apps are typically under 30 seconds and designed to feel native to platforms like TikTok, Instagram Reels, or YouTube Shorts. What makes them effective is their authentic, often UGC style storytelling that hooks viewers within the first 2 or 3 seconds. So this format drives higher engagement rates and click-through rates compared to traditional and longer form ads. The second trend is interactive. I'm sorry. The second trend is interactive and playable ads are gaining traction, especially in mobile gaming. These formats allows users to experience a slice of gameplay and or interactive features before committing to a download. So our data shows that playable ads are significantly increased install quality and retention rates, making them essential part of UA mix. So third of the trend is like the localization of the creatives is more important than ever, because the top advertisers tailor their creatives by region, adjusting visual, languages, and cultural elements to resonate with local audiences. So with SocialPeta, data reveals that campaigns which regionally localized, I'm sorry, localized creatives Okay. I got some notifications behind. I'm sorry about this. SocialPeta data reveals that campaigns with regional localized creatives can see uplifted performance metrics by 20 to 30%. I'd like to share one example from our platform.
Yeah,
One
if
of
it's
our
possible.
clients in the casual mobile gaming space leveraged SocialPeta's intelligence to identify a surge in success in user-generated content style, vertical videos, video ads featuring influencer-like influencer style gameplay clips. So by rapidly adapting this format and launching series of tests, they refresh their creatives every week, and leading to increase their CTR their CTR like 35%, and to reduction in their CPI in 25% in just 1 month. So this approach allowed them to stay agile and continuously optimize their creatives based on real-time performance data surfaced by SocialPeta. So in summary, these trends are pushing marketers to prioritize creative agility, authenticity, and authenticate to creatives and interactivity in their user acquisition strategies globally. And those who invest in fast-paced creative iteration leverage new ad formats like playable ads or localized content efficiently and effectively are consistently outperforming the competition. With SocialPeta, you can analyze which creatives work in which network and in which region. So it's helps marketers and advertisers to optimize their campaigns totally. So for more information, you can check our marketing reports related about playable ads or marketing insights of the 2024. You can get more information, or you can just ask me questions from my personal email address or from here after this session, and I can explain more details. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Çağatay. Actually, for someone who joined us, if you have any questions about or you want to find SocialPeta reports, you can always text in the chat session, and we're gonna. I hope if we'll have time, we have a Q&A session in the end, right? So we can deep dive. You can deep dive later more into topics, and if someone is looking for a report, they can find it at the same time. I think the important you mentioned is about the localization also, right? So we talk about the platforms where you run your advertising, and we talk about the ads itself. So what's important also is to understand in which geography, which geo you go, the cultural background of your users, right? And here I want to ask Casey. So in Mobupps, probably you have a broad view of user acquisition trends, right? And I want to ask you, what role does creative localization, how you feel, plays in user acquisition and the retention? And maybe you can share some formats or markets where you saw some interesting story or insights during the last year.
Sure. So like you may know, Mobupps actually operates across more than a dozen of countries. So for sure, creative localization is something we do on a daily basis, and this is something we feel like it's one of the most effective levers in driving retention rates and also the scale of your campaign. And when we say localization, we definitely doesn't mean just translating the text or just translating the language of your creatives. Not mean like that. What we are talking about is tailoring your entire creative stories, including like the visual cues, all the humor inside, all the pacing, and even some of the emotional triggers used in your advertising. So if I list some examples from what we see in different markets, for example, in India, what we see is like the meme style creatives or the ones that more close to influencer creatives performance much better than those, polished or cinematic formats. And if we are talking about Latin America geos, what we see is that emotional narratives with some regional slangs usually perform better. And if it's Southeast Asia or Middle East, usually the short form content with some native voiceovers usually drive, much better conversion rates. And if we separate by different verticals, like in gaming, for sure, we need to use some localized onboarding or some rewarding systems in your creatives. And because of the rewarding, it can improve the retention rate by probably 20 to 25%. And if it's finance or utility apps, usually we're using the familiar voices or some local references, and then you will see some improvement on the conversion rates. Just from all the experience, like localization experience, what we feel like the key points of the localization is actually let the user feel this creative is designed for themselves. It's for their own region, it's for their own market, it's for their own area. And then the user will willing to stay and willing to engage with your product or application. So yeah, this is our thoughts about the localization.
Localization, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty common, but I mean, it's also important to always, I think, talk to the client and explain that it's not only built on creative itself. In the beginning, when you
Yes,
test a new gel, yes, you can test a
I
new
think a couple
gel.
years ago it was quite popular, just to
Yes.
run a global campaign with the same set of creatives, just translate into different language and just run. But I don't think this strategy still works in nowadays. You really need to build up stories based on the targeting region.
Yes, and optimize your application based on targeting region. Or if you see there's some regions that works for you, time to think about optimizing your app based on it. I saw there are a lot of apps, maybe you saw in games, where the UI and UX is not matching with the region, and sometimes it's just impossible.
Exactly. Sometimes we
for
do
you.
see the opposite results. Some creatives works perfect in one region, but if you use the same one for the other region, probably it's going, the opposite result.
Yeah, yes, you never know. Or sometimes you didn't localize it, so you need to test, always need to test. You can localize everything perfectly and then see that your not localized advertising was actually boost much better performance. So A/B testing always. So here we talk about, so what we touch the point of platforms, and we talk about geos, where you're going, but it's 2025. We talk already 40 minutes. It didn't mention the word AI. Do you think we're gonna skip it? No, there's no way, no session in the world can go without the word AI. That's why we have Milan here. So given your experience leading AdSpawn, which specializes in AI-powered ad creative, you already mentioned about AI in ad creatives. So how do you see the role of all this automation and dynamic creative strategies and how it's affect to today's user acquisition? So should we all generate advertising only by AI? Is AI better than us about ad creative?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think the AI is better than us yet. People should utilize the AI. So right. The future is, it's been said here, hyper personalization and basically the speed of production and testing, right, that you can do. And that's the future. We are already there, and it's just gonna accelerate. So what to do now? Like the basic process, it's still the same. Like you do the market research, you do the ideation, and then you do like testing and optimization of something that works, of variants, right? It's always been there. But what happens now is that instead of doing it for 2 weeks, right, you can do it in like 2 days and with a team of a couple of people, right? So that and now you can do that, and that's important if you have like proper workflows. If you have, there is tons of AI tools out there, like new models coming out, like people, and even me, like being a core of the industry, like is hard to follow up on everyday news, like new LLM, new model, new this, new that. So, but there needs to be somebody in the team, the marketing team, just responsible for creative production and testing. Just be sure that, yes, I'm on the edge of what works, and this is our process now, this is our methodology, so we are efficient. If you don't do that, you are going to be replaced, and the AI will be better than you. So more than generating and like actually doing this kind of execution delivery is more like, what kind of a new methodology? How do we utilize the AI tools? And how can I be creative in actually using AI in the modern world? Now, okay, I'll give you a case study, like what we did. It's for usable for smaller studios, but the methodology goes like this. So we global launch, we helped global launching the game in December. By the way, not ideal time to global launch, right? December. So don't do that. But there was a push to do that. We global launched the game. Team was very small. It's small studio, small budget. And there was no really a soft launch before it. So it was more like iteration and testing of creatives during the global launch. A lot of crazy stuff, right? So we decided, okay, let's start small, like not go crazy. And how do you start small? You start with even cheap AI tools and like some fast iterations. So we created a bunch of static images, right? Tens of them. We had some gameplay recordings that we cut. And then we tested gameplays itself, like what sticks, we didn't really care about much CPI and ROAS at that time, but let's see which gameplay works the best. And then separately, which static images work the best, highest CTR, lowest CPIs. All right, and it was during the global launch. We learned what works. Then we took the images and we created hooks from them, all with the AI, right? You have different models that you can do that. So we did it with AdSpawn, but you then iterate, you take the winners of static acts, there are characters, there are some like explosions, there is here and that, there are different stuff that we did with statics, and then you animate them. Now we have hooks, which you pair with the best gameplays that you got. And now suddenly you have like full creative that has a hook, that has maybe some kind of a story, that has different characters, you know what worked. But during this process, right, and now this is important, this process would usually, before AI, took weeks, right? Producing like 50 static images and testing them. Now, this took like a couple of days. I'm talking like a week, and it was with a team of 3 people. And it's just about the methodology we set up. What took longer was like creating like, this is, okay, we have tight budget, there is a global launch, this is how we're gonna do. From static images to hooks to final videos in a couple of days. And then we were able to scale for 6 months, and like, it was basically 6 figures budget of monthly spend for small studio. So huge success. And the game is still profitable. We follow pretty much the same methodology, but now because there is a budget, we don't focus on statics anymore. We do more hooks, videos, you have like these different models that you can connect, and just be sure that like get access to VO3 to kind of like some US credit card if you can, but there is like different approaches that you still can do, and just utilizing the latest models and processes to get the most out of AI. So best case is like, be creative how you use the AI, because everybody is using it. Just be sure that you use it the best way you can and use the best models you can.
So how does it usually, so when you create all the creative with AI, does it, like, you manually select the best one? Was it ever a situation when AI created something crazy that you cannot launch? I mean,
Yeah, there is always that. Like, so
always.
depending on like internal, obviously you have different levels of brand identities and brand manuals that you need to follow. In mobile gaming, it's pretty wild. Like we know the fake ads and how crazy you can go. For many studios, they don't even care about actually showing the gameplay, because it's like, let's test anything, like any kind of a UGC avatar, any kind of a animation, whatever that is not directly connected with the game. That's not my philosophy, I'll be honest. I'm more about the gameplay, showing the gameplay, because we know it increases the retention when you actually show the product. So the pairing gameplay with the hook is, in my case and my recommendation, the best thing you can do, right? So you get the attention in the first 3 seconds, and then you actually show the product. So you're like combining all these CTRs and early metrics with showing the product that increases the retention. And just following this rule, this is the best thing. And don't go too crazy. Like, go crazy, but don't go too crazy. Don't go too fake and too crazy. But it happens all the time with the AI. Like, if you have a good ideation, and specifically if you check the market, right? You check the market and competitors, you can see like there is a lot of crazy stuff being tested. So then you start thinking, I'm gonna test the same stuff because it works. And then you fall into the trap of just like following competition and not being creative yourself. again, it can work, but not always. Like, try to see like why this crazy ad works. Maybe I should go crazy, but not exactly crazy like my competitor. There's already, you know, testing some, I don't know, weird pregnant cats. At least that's what targeting me on Instagram. These like weird drama
Pregnant
stories with the cats. Yeah,
What a
pregnant
crazy
cats.
thing, pregnant cats.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, what I wanted to ask here, so AI is working based on only on the prompts that you give, or it's also analyzing the current ad creatives that already exist and working well. So you teach the AI, right, from the successful cases, right?
Yeah. So nowadays there are like, we are just going to release the stuff that is actually AI is reading frame by frame of the video and it understands the concept of the ad and then tries to, you know, it writes down the script so you can iterate the script. The AI is moving very fast, and you know, even with videos in the market, it scans the market with the competition. Obviously, it scans your store page. It scans your competitors, like the similar apps, for example. It knows, like, it understands the concept, the text, the screenshots, the app icon itself, the reviews, right? It understands it, and it creates this holistic approach. Okay, you are there, your competition is somewhere else. Like, okay, now let's create something that takes you to the or against the competition. Like, you can do crazy stuff with the AI, but you need to be creative.
I think if you're gonna teach AI like this, by analyzing all the competition, what's working is gonna be more crazy, much more crazy than pregnant cats. So
Yeah, we'll see
you
where
will
it
see
goes.
some crazy,
Yeah.
something crazy in the end. So if you have some best result, maybe you can publish somewhere on your social media so you can check, like, that's the craziest thing AI created for it created this week. We cannot promote with this, but you can see. Yeah, that's a cool thing, I think, about all this AI we can use right now everywhere in every part of our marketing journey, right? So the most important to understand and spend your time properly, also to understand in which direction you should look, in which platform, and what is the most important here, and to not waste time for some, awkward things that actually you can do by yourself, or or maybe you don't need to do.
If I can jump into it exactly, like now with the latest AI releases and tools, it's almost like there is this paralysis of choice. Like when you're wanting to watch Netflix, everybody knows, and you don't know what to watch anymore. It's like you're scrolling through the movies, and it's very similar to the AI tools. There's so many popping out, and I mean, there will be some clarity eventually in a couple of months, and you know, every segment and every vertical regarding even the gaming genres, they will know this tool is good for me, this tool isn't ideal for me. But at the moment, there's just too much stuff.
Yes.
And choosing the right one and then sticking to it is important.
It is also important how much they invest in their marketing, this AI tool, right? So you see exactly this one. Yeah,
No.
so if you're AI tool, you still need to advertise yourself. So that's a loop. That's a loop, always a loop, right? So the AI creative that you're using right now is mostly focused better for the games or for other verticals? What do you think?
For games. So we are specific
Okay.
for games, and then we try to, like, we have our AI understands from the link that you provide, or for you search for the genre that you are in. If it's arcade, then it's gonna produce something else than if you are, for example, simulation game, right? So there's differences, and that's the key. Again, coming back, like, it's this hyper personalization and tailor-made creatives for your genre and for your audience based on the competition and you know, the current trends. That's but AdSpawn is for mobile games.
Yeah, it is. It is obvious because most mobile games, they're the ones that, like, they're starving for a lot of ad creatives and other things. And currently, there's a trend that other verticals still not that creative with the ad creative, which I think is not that good because there's still a lot of options. You can always make it much more creative. Doesn't matter if you're in regulated industry or not. There's always lots of ways. You don't need to keep things classic as it was always because you're in regulated industry, I think. So
And I mean,
also
just the last touch upon that point, it's the non-gaming users are more used to actually seeing the product. If you market it, if you show something through the marketing channel or creative, right, you need to actually show the value of the product, which is not, if it's non-gaming, you need to show the feature of actual product. Gaming is on the crazy side. Like you can almost show anything, and the users or future players, they're okay with that. They're okay if you're not showing actual gameplay, if you're showing the world of the game, for example, in completely different art style. So you can get away with a lot of stuff in a gaming. That's why we see a lot of crazy stuff, crazy AI stuff in a gaming sphere as well.
Yeah, that's true. So actually, thank you a lot, Milan, for sharing information about AI and how we can use AI creatives in our current marketing strategies. And before we wrap up, there's one question I want to ask all of you guys. So I think it's important. What's in your opinion, like what is the main advice you can give for user acquisition marketings who are looking for scale effectiveness of their mobile user acquisition, or maybe for studios or mobile owners, like where should they pay attention to? What is the main thing? Because there are a lot of things coming out, and we today also say about lots of things, but most of us like most of them have a limited team, right? Limited resources. So what do you think is the most important in your marketing decisions right now? Chatai, can you share your opinion about this?
Yeah, I can share. So my top advice for UI marketers is embrace the agility at every level, for creatives, for channel and strategy, and make data your compass when you're creating these campaigns. So the mobile landscape is evolving faster than ever, with the user behaviors and platform algorithms constantly shifting. So to scale effectively, you need to move quickly, test a wide variety of creatives, analyze performance in real time, and be ready to pivot channels or tactics based on what data tells you. So additionally, don't rely on any single channel or creative style. Diversify your approach and tailor your assets to the nuisance of each platform. So lastly, invest in tools and partnership like SocialPeta or other tools that provides actionable intelligence, so you can make smarter and faster decisions. So in today's market, speed and insights are the greatest competitive advantages. The brands that scale best are those who iterate first, fast, and learn continuously. So my advice is to be agile at every level for this.
Yeah, that's a good one. Definitely. Maybe Jason, you can share your thoughts about it. Some piece of advice.
Sure. I mean, I already mentioned it before. I mean, for me, it's a non-negotiable thing. You should have a tracker and narrow down your funnel to understand like what is the data saying, because that's in my opinion the only thing that will help you scale effectively. If you're just spending blindly, it's not gonna work. You're just gonna spend a bunch of money on something, that might not even perform as well. So get a tracker. That first of all, make sure you understand the format that you're working with. So reach out to the company, to the AM, for example, and ask them for advice. What type of creative should I use? I'm currently working with this. How should I adapt it to, make it interesting for the audience? If you already have examples from other advertisers working with these formats, and the geo, of course. You should invest definitely in creatives. That's also a very important thing. So if you want to get some inspirational creatives, use like a spy tool like SocialPeta, or ask for like straightaway examples of creatives from the traffic source, and test enough creatives. So I would always recommend to test at least 4, actually like ideally 8 different types of creatives in one campaign. So you can see the effect of each individual creative, and then assess which creative will be best to proceed with, or to focus on more. And of course, one final thing, if you're actually working with an offer and your targets, for example, point very late in the flow, as for example FTD, and you're targeting FTD of $200, don't use a testing budget of $200, because that is going to be difficult. It will be difficult to make that perform with such a small testing budget if the testing budget is similar to your goal for let's say conversion. So Yeah, those are the main things I would, recommend to scale effectively and get like a good campaign or like a good strategy off the ground.
Yeah, combination, everything can help, I think, definitely. Casey, can you give some advice to all participants today?
Sure. I think everybody already mentioned the main point about the creatives. Also, Jason mentioned about data. What I wanted to mention 2 points is also data and new opportunities. This is something for marketers will never ever to forget about. Although you wanted to make crazy attractive creative, but never forget to come back to do some creative and analytics to check which is the elements, the driving performance, which are the elements probably that your user get drop off. So we done tons of tests and sent millions of impressions. So just from our own experience, we suggest that if it's video creatives, probably you need to think about how to attract users' attention just within 2 to 3 seconds. And that's it. If 2 to 2 seconds, if you don't track your users, they probably just switch to another video. They will just leave you. And second of all, what we see that UGC style content is still dominating. So these are the types let user to feel very native, very unpolished, authentic content, which could let them stay longer with your product. And also we have some summed up the best themes working for us. For example, if it's finance apps or utility apps, maybe you can try to use before and after contrast to attract your user. And if it's gaming apps, try maybe challenge and the reward. And if it's maybe lifestyle or utility apps, remember to try the keywords of time saving or life hack. So these are some small tips we get from our experience and tests. So yeah, and about the new opportunities like OEMs or TMAs, there are so many new channels maybe can bypass the traditional ways, and this probably the opportunities for you to drive to another level of user acquisition. So that's my tips. Thank you.
Thank you a lot. I think it's very insightful. And Milan, can you share your advices?
Yeah, I'll connect more hands-on scaling / human side of it. So yeah, I'm here representing the AI, but I'm still, and I hope I will be, a human first. So, and I think first of all, to actually scale, you need to stay in your job, and we see layoffs, we see how the AI is moving. So and how do you stay relevant in the industry as a marketer? You just need to be adaptable. So it's never been easier to tap into different field if you're user acquisition manager, technical one, just executing campaigns. My advice: tap into the creative, right? It's a king, and it's always be there. So try to understand idea making, the process of market research. There's plenty of tools, obviously, like SocialPeta and others to help you analyze. So try to become these wearing multiple hats to stay relevant, so you won't be replaceable. That's one thing. And now with more a strategical scaling stuff, use be on the top of the latest AI tools. How to do that? One example, fall.ai. This is not an advertisement. It's basically random tool that I scrambled upon. They have the latest models. They're random company. They always something big releases, and they have it there just and you can either use them from there or they redirect you. So this is how you can be on the edge always, and yeah, just use the latest AI.
Yes, I also think that it's important to humans still important here, right? And human relationships still important here. And with all the competition that exists on the market, competition between brands, competition for the partners, marketing partners, and lots of different sources. So what's important here is to know your partner, to understand that your partner understands that your growth is their growth, because it is. It definitely is. So everyone want to have successful clients. Everyone wants their clients to grow, and they're also working for this. But you need to understand that your account manager that's working with you is understand this also and understand your pain and interested about this, right? So they want to, so they talk with the client, when they talk with you, they want to understand what is your expectation from marketing, why are you doing marketing? They can be brave enough to tell you that your strategies can be wrong or recommend you something. So it's always a teamwork inside of your team, inside your marketing team, and with all of your partners. You should not be afraid of testing something new, because most probably nobody wants to waste their investment as a marketing agency, or everyone looking for the best way currently. So I think, yeah, it's the most important human relationship in the end of the day, and understand and trust to your partners and trust to your tools at the same time. So here we have some questions from the audience. We're almost out of time, but I think we can stay late for 5 minutes and briefly reply to this. So there's a question to Casey. So what's one creative UA channel marketers wouldn't live without in 2025? What do you
Good
think?
question. Good question. If I just have
Complex.
to choose one, I will, suggest people maybe try like what I mentioned, some channels that are beyond the traditional ones. For example, I won't intend to try OEM stores, like because this is a channel like less competitive. And it's more, of course, it's cheaper for sure. And I think the scale of the users there is a potential, especially for Android market. So definitely, I think for the scale of this market, I won't suggest everyone to maybe give a try in OEM direction.
Oh, interesting. So one question we have for Jason, I think about the Telegram ads, of course. So what are the geos for Telegram ads? Which geos you think the topping one if you go with Telegram
Yeah, I
inventory?
already mentioned two. So Brazil and Nigeria from the case study, but also CIS. So anything in that region works well because they're quite heavy Telegram users. So those are definitely interesting geos, but also Southeast Asia. We see, for example, Vietnam, Thailand, Indonesia, all users that are quite aware of Telegram. They're using it frequently. So those are very interesting geos in general to test out. And about the presentation, I see as well. Yeah, I'm sure happy to send it. Just send me a message, and I'll share a more elaborate presentation. That's not an issue with actual stats.
Yes. So, and also everyone, you can share your, I don't know, your email, your LinkedIn page, or some contact in the chat, so people can reach out to you directly and ask you questions, because maybe there's something coming up, but they didn't write it or was too shy or want much more details, and our time is limited. And the last question for everyone, to know if someone wants to reply, just raise your hand and go with it. So many brands struggle with rising costs and changing audience behavior. So what do you think are the biggest challenges they face right now with optimizing their ad spend today? Hard question. What is the biggest challenge? Limited budget? How to optimize your ad spend? Do you want to say something? No.
Like,
Jason?
I'll talk about the creative, right? I'll talk about like focus on
Okay,
creative,
go
what
on.
works,
Yeah.
what doesn't, right? But I'll be repeating myself. So like if you have a hard time optimizing and you hit some kind of a plateau, so there's like, all right, new creative ideas, new creative testing. That's like the obvious one that I'll talk about. But then it's more like, and it's natural. Like every product in the universe, they'll hit the plateau, and it's like it's hard to optimize then. Then suddenly the general recommendation is start looking into the brand marketing, like how you communicate, why you communicate, and then you start to invest into more long-term campaigns that don't only look at the short-term revenue as you would as a performance marketer, but then
Yes.
the brand marketing is the answer. So yeah, first creative testing, and then if you hit the plateau, nothing works, then obviously the testing channels. But if you tighten the budget, then let's start with the brand campaigns.
Yes, brand promotion is very important, and it's a pain point for me as a salesperson in marketing agency, because a lot of clients and marketers, because of this tight budget, everyone wants to focus on post install, and nobody wants to work just on engagement. But engagement is the key. Your brand should be visible, and like in psychology, there's such a thing. The more often you see something, even if you don't like it, maybe you notice in some of your some bloggers and influencers or stars in your country, like pop stars. First time you see the person, you don't like it, maybe, but the more often it's going from your phone, it's going from your TV, it's going from everywhere, and then you're like, no, this guy is not that bad. I mean, and then you maybe forget where did you see it, but you already feel trustful and more familiar. That's how brain works. So brand engagement is very important. There are a lot of platforms we can run. You can run brand interventions like Twitch and Reddit, for example, and some platforms we mentioned today, right? It also works. So it's brand marketing is not only CPI thing, right? You need to focus on other thing, and don't forget about your application. It should be sharp and good, and user experience should be good. Does anyone want to add something here about optimizing ad spend? If not, I think, Cassie?
Yeah, I just wanted to say maybe one other biggest challenge we all facing is like the frauds, fighting with frauds every day.
Yes.
Just be careful with the source you choose. Always choose, I think first of all, you need to separate your budget to test it with a small, like $50 or $100 per day. Start with that, and then to test whether your sources are transparent enough for you. If like the screenshot or their interface is convincing for you enough. So I think these are all the index for you to check if you should continue to scale with this source. Yeah, just some share here.
Yeah, and I want to add here just one more thing. When we talk about sources, yes, it's good to use lots of sources, but sometimes if you do too much sources, or you work as affiliates or you work with agencies, you do a bad thing for yourself. So if you're working with RTB, understand that you should understand you cannot give your offer to give your
always try to look for the
everyone.
bottom sources, the direct
Yeah.
traffic. That's the best one for you.
You
That's the
need-
one that bring the best, most transparent.
Or at
quality.
least some trusted partner, someone you can trust. You see the best
Yeah.
feedback from them, and you can test in the beginning few partners, but it's always moment when you need to slow down. You don't give it to everyone, because you will increase your own CPI price, and that can be crucial in the end. So yeah, keep the balance in everything. And yes, so thank you, everyone. I'm so sad we didn't have the chance to discuss it more deeply. But as you see in the webinar chat, our speakers already left all their credentials and the emails. So feel free to reach out, and also feel free to reach out to me. And thank you a lot for the webinar. Thank you, everyone, and have a good day.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank you,
very much.
everyone. Thanks,
Take care,
PropellerAds.
everybody.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care. Take care. Bye bye.